What's up, everybody? So we're back out in the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and as you can hear, my voice is back to normal. I'm feeling way better than I was in the past few videos. Now guys, in this episode, we are going to put the handle scales on this knife, which is the K-tip Gyuto steak knife that I've been working on. We're going to put the handle scales on them, and we're going to shape them in this episode. Now you may be asking yourself, Eric, what handle scale material are you putting on this? Some awesome stuff. Now, this particular style of handle material I haven't worked with yet, but we're going to try it out. Now, I've worked with versions of it, but nothing like this. Now, this is a stabilized Buckeye burl. Now, this stuff is from Corey Scott. He sent these to me a long time ago, like easily a year or so ago. Now, this particular one, it's stabilized Buckeye. Now, you can see there's not a ton of wood in this. There is some down here, which we're going to be using this for the larger part of the handle with the butt of it. But all of this is that resin. You can see all the different colors in there. I think that this is going to look absolutely awesome. Now, I've been waiting on the appropriate knife to use this on because I didn't want to use it on one that had a really big bulky handle because I didn't want there to be a ton of that resin and that be the only thing. I wanted to do something that had a smaller handle to where I could have a nice proportional amount of wood to resin. So I think it's going to be cool. I think that this is going to work out pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to see how this stuff shapes and how this polishes. So what we've got to do is we've got to get everything marked up on this, and then what I'm going to do is cut them out and then square them up. So what I mean by squaring them up is flattening the sections that are going to actually touch the tang, getting that nice and square, and then if need be, I'll go ahead and square the thicknesses of them after that, but I don't think I'm really going to need to do that. I think that I'll be fine just doing it how I normally do it. But we need to go ahead and jump into this and get this thing knocked out. Hopefully y'all are excited about it. If you are, let me know in the comment section down below before you watch the whole video. And then whenever you get to the end of it and you get to see the end result, which is probably in the thumbnail, you can let me know if you thought it was going to be the right decision in the beginning and if it was the right decision in the end. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's jump into it. So one of the things that I've already done was I went through and just drew the outline of the tang onto here so I can kind of lay out where I want it to be so that I get the appropriate amount of wood to resin. And I think that that's going to be just fine. I think that it's going to transition real well. Plus, whenever we start shaping the scales, a little bit more wood will probably show through right here as we start profiling it around because of the amount that's on the back side here. Do I know if that's going to work perfectly? No, but I've got a good idea in my head that this is going to work, so we're going to go ahead and try it out. Now, what we need to go ahead and do now is get our holes drilled through here, and then once I get the holes drilled and I can get everything kind of lined up, I'm going to go ahead and just flatten the backside. You might be thinking to yourself, Eric, wouldn't you flatten everything before you drill the holes? Sometimes I would, but what I want to end up doing is cutting this, so getting the holes drilled, getting them in there, cutting this out, and then squaring them off together after that. It might not make sense whenever you think about it, but the area that's actually touching here is the straightest part of these scales. Might not look super straight right here, but the area where this section is actually really flat and touching each other really well. There's no gapping right there. So I'm barely going to have to do any straightening on the back side here to make those match up right. So trust me on this. Whenever I get it all glued up, it will look good. But I am kind of winging it a little bit. In my head, I think this is going to make sense. So we'll see how it goes. Right now, we need to get our knife clamped onto here inside that little area that we drew for the tang. Then go ahead and start drilling our holes. So now that I have them drilled and cut out, I'm going to go ahead and flatten them just a little bit. They're already almost perfect, so I don't have to remove much material. But I'm going to go ahead, flatten it, and then scuff up this area right here where they're going to meet, so that whenever I do epoxy them onto the tang, they have a little bit of texture to get a hold of. Might even drill a couple little relief holes. But once we get this flattened, I'm going to go ahead, shape the front, and then I'll start sanding the front and get that finished out, because once we attach these, we won't be able to mess with this without hurting the ricasso area on the knife. So let's go ahead, flatten them, pin them, profile this, sand it, and be ready to start attaching them. So first things first, what I need to do, use this 36 grit belt to go ahead, shave the pins down, and then remove the excess material around the tang. I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we're going to go into profiling the handle. It's going to be a pretty simple profile. It's going to be a nice tapered profile that just goes to the front. A lot of this is actually going to get shaved off. This front section right here might only be 1/4 of an inch, not even that. Might be 3/16 of an inch thick on either side here, and we're going to go back to a little bit thicker at the back side, but we are going to end up shaving a lot of the scale material off so that I have a nice pinch area towards the front, and so that it's nice and lightweight. I don't want to have big old scales like that on it. So let's go ahead, start shaving everything back, and then we'll start profiling. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this Shop Talk Tuesday up here with some just awesomeness. I mean, take a look at that. How freaking cool does that look? Look at this. Just beautiful colors. I love that little punch of it right here. I mean, that is absolutely freaking sweet. I think that this was the perfect knife for this particular handle. I think that this overall package just looks so cool. And the best part about this is that I get to use this as my own steak knife. Now, if that wasn't already cool enough, I want to show you how awesome the balance is. Do you see that? Where you're going to pinch it, that is the perfect balance right there. Yeah, that is so cool. I'm really excited about this particular knife, and I just think it looks epic. Now, I am interested, like I said, from the beginning of this, well, how do you think it's going to go, to how do you think that it turned out? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, the next episode is going to be absolutely awesome. I'm going to grill up a huge, just massive tomahawk steak, and then we are going to use this to cut it, but I'm going to show y'all the cooking process. I'm going to show y'all the cutting process. We're going to see how it goes. I'm super excited about this one. Hopefully y'all have fun in the next episode. Now guys, one of the things that I wanted to mention is we just launched a podcast. So it's Knives Templar, and I'm going to leave links for it in the description below if you want to go check it out. We just released, it's technically episode 2 of it, but it's the first episode that has all of us on it. We talk about some awesome stuff, so if you want to check that out, it's a total of 5 of us, just different knife makers in various phases of their knife making career, and just some awesome guys. If you want to go check it out, you can. Like I said, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Plus, I also have a link in the description below for my website, theriversexperience.com. Go give it a look. If you are interested in buying one of my knives, the best part about it is I have YouTube videos dedicated to every single one of them that I have on that website. So you get to show your friends and family how your particular knife was made. Go check it out. Pick you up something. I've got shirts on there. Guys, that's the end of this episode. If you would, give the video a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all next time.